Okay. I would like to formally tender my resignation. I don't want to make Glee videos anymore. This is a historic moment. This is a legendary moment. I've never done this before. I have never quit on a show before. I think I'm quitting right now. Or, at the very best, taking a very, very, very long break from Glee and doing a completely different show instead. Because season 3 is awful. Fucking damn, I hate every character now. And that's the point where you gotta dip. To remind everybody, season 1 is, in my opinion, a perfect season of television, but uh, Glee's fatal flaw lies within the perfection of season 1. Meaning, season 1 was so well designed, the arcs were completed so completely, everything about Glee was completed so completely within season 1 that no other season was necessary, and every other season that I've seen, seasons 2 and 3, are regressions. They lack quality, they lack focus, they lack vision, they lack a point. There's no reason for them. Season 3, there are things that it does better than season 2 did. At least our characters feel a little bit different, a little changed. At least the events that happened in the first 2 seasons seem to be having an effect on our characters in season 3. And some of them are acting and behaving as if they've actually been through storylines, which that didn't happen in season 2. In season 2, they all just acted exactly like they did in the pilot, as if all of the hard character development didn't fucking happen. Whereas now in season 3, at least they're acknowledging the fact that they have made some remarkable strides within their characters. Now, the problem is, I hate how they're acting. I think they like this complete wrong decisions, man. You know what? Maybe Roberto Aguirre Sacasa and the fucking Riverdale School of Thought ruined Glee. It's very possible. Roberto Aguirre Sacasa had a decent amount of involvement with Glee after season 1. Season 1's just so perfect. Keep Riverdale out of this shit. And you can see the fetus of what would become Riverdale within season 2 and season 3 of Glee. Which is fucking stupid. Which is just fucking nothing. Just, I would call it style over substance, but the style isn't good. The aesthetic isn't nice to interact with. It's nothing over nothing. It's just a bunch of empty air. My darling Quinn, who I loved in season 1, the more I think about it, the more okay I am with her lack of arc in season 2. I still don't think it was handled well, but maybe it would make sense for a character like Quinn to pretend that she wasn't pregnant in the first season, to just kind of repress that, block it out, and just act like everything's fine. Only Glee season 2 with Quinn, they didn't acknowledge that or investigate that or have her face the fact that yes, you did go through a life-changing event, a life-changing experience. And also in season 1, she was pretending, trying to block out reality anyway. Like, she was already pretending like she wasn't pregnant when she was pregnant. So, I mean, I'm learning to appreciate Quinn a little bit more in season 2. I loved her in season 1. Thought she was easily the most transformative character of season 1. Season 2, I'm starting to warm up to her a bit more, and also Diana Agron's performance is just very, very good. Throughout what I've seen of Glee, including the third season. And in the third season, the first time we see her, she's got dyed pink hair, part of an alt group of girls called the Skanks, and I fucking fell in mad love with her if I wasn't in mad love with her already. But it's so dumb. You can't take it seriously. It's like a Riverdale level of not worth interacting with. It's just meant to seem silly, camp, and cool. And then what the fuck? She's the most aimless character in season 3. So inconsistent narratively, tonally. Season 3 is just a very inconsistent season overall. But then she becomes paralyzed for a few episodes. What was that? The only interesting thing they did, and they fumbled the ball completely with Quinn, was when Adina Menzel came back, Shelby came back, and kind of started a little fling with Puck. So and they never highlighted this part of why Quinn should be so upset about this. Not only Like, let's look at it from the viewpoint of Quinn at that time, who I think was acting stupid and completely out of character. But like from her stupid and completely out of character perspective, she was like, this bitch got my baby and now she's got my man, the baby daddy. This fucking older woman coming in and like taking my role, the role that I realize right now that I wanted, but they never investigated it like that. They just made it super catty and stupid and painted Quinn to be some kind of crazed villain. I just don't even think that Quinn would act that way. What happened? Like, at least they're doing something with her character, right? They're not doing nothing with her like they did in season two. But season one, we saw this transformed Quinn, who I thought was really mature. And then by season three, she's like the most superficial fucking chick, dude. Like, oh my God, and dumb, got brain rot. I love Quinn, but Jesus, my favorite scene in the entirety of season three is with Quinn, though. It's in the graduation episode. A wonderful scene. There are two great scenes in the graduation episode I'd like to highlight very quickly. The first, which I think is the most powerful scene of season three, is when Quinn is saying her goodbyes to Sue Sylvester. And Sue kind of breaks down crying, like hugging her. And Quinn says, "I'm going to miss you." And Sue says, genuinely, like cracking in her voice, like of authenticity, that I don't know why you would, but thanks. Thank you. It's such a great moment between these two archetypes, which were originally like mentor and pupil. The coach of the Cheerios and the head Cheerio, uh the adult and the shadow, the adult and the child. Like, it's so interesting. That was a really cool scene, and it was great. But that scene also highlighted the fact that season two and almost all of season three, except for the graduation episode, was a big fucking nothing. Like, Quinn was already that mature in that office at the end of the first season of Glee, right? But since it's a comedy show and since it's like a camp bullshit show, they had to just make a bunch of contrived obstacles and like make her character be stupid for, I don't know, fucking 50 episodes until we can continue the maturity from the transformation of season one at the very last part of season three. It's such a broken narrative system that I find it insulting. Ryan Murphy, you should be ashamed, honestly, by how broken Glee was. At this point, I'm like, maybe Glee, and this is crazy that I'm even saying this. I think it's a wonderful season of television, and one season television shows that are successful don't exist. How about this as a compromise? Glee should have just been a fucking movie. It should have just been a 2-hour fucking movie. It would have been a legendary one, even more legendary than the show is. It would have been excellent. Because clearly you didn't have a plan. You only had a plan for season one, and you did such a good job. It should have just been a film. Should have just been a film. In fact, the first season kind of follows the steps of a film more accurately than it does television. But it is a wonderful television season. It's like perfect television. But I can also see it being possibly even a better film. Glee was a mistake. The other scene in the finale that I think is really nice is when Rachel believes Finn is driving her to get married, but he drives her to a train station instead and like says, "You have to go follow your dreams and I'm staying behind." It's like really emotional, really heartfelt. There's a lot of pathos within that scene. And I just remember thinking, why didn't I get more of this? This is real. This is sad. This is relatable. That's what's good. That's what it was a good moment. Very good moment. Wonderful acting from Corey Monteith and Leah Michelle within that scene. Glee, what did it represent to culture? At its best, it's come to represent the worst things about culture during the 2010s, which was self-obsession, self-involvement. It does express inclusivity, but it expresses like an almost extremist amount of individuality, to the point where narcissism is the watchword. You know, it is a nice show in a sense that really displays how important music is to the teenage experience. And like I've said before, these are teenagers on parallel narrative lines that not only intersect occasionally, but harmonize with each other. Like the human experience is a musical one. Now, does Glee make very profound statements? No. And it didn't even make a lot of profound statements within the first season, but the first season, I think, is a very intelligent and fun show. This is the comedy forward show, but the comedy is proving to be a detriment to Ryan Murphy's composition. So many things are sacrificed for comedy and for camp. And I just don't really appreciate a lot of it at all. I'm giving up on Glee because Glee has given up on itself at this point. I almost think that Glee is now just a vehicle for it to sell songs. I bet if we looked behind the scenes on this show that there are music companies and pop stars and agencies being like, please have your kids sing this song. We're trying to push this artist right now. Please have your kids sing this song. So they do it. I bet this fucking show is the most plastic fucking thing in the world at this point. In the first season, yeah, there were silly songs and shit, but it felt like those massive amplifications of teenage emotions through melody informed the narrative, informed the characters. Here, it's not as bad as season 2 in that respect, but it is very guilty of that. It's very guilty of feeling plastic, of feeling completely bought. I think it's a pretty shameful kind of show. So far as 2010s teen television goes, Gossip Girl was still running at this time. That's the greatest show ever made. Pretty Little Liars did a much better job at identifying the dilemmas of the young adult experiences and exploring them. And I didn't even like Pretty Little Liars that much. Vampire Diaries, I thought, was a rather fascinating show. An excellent show, actually. I would say it's pretty excellent, pretty damn good. And Vampire Diaries definitely did so much better than Glee at combining a lot of queerness, eroticism, inclusivity, with a certain brand of nihilism, with postmodern features, bringing us forth to a new sincerity within like horror frameworks. Like the Vampire Diaries is probably the 2010s television show outside of Gossip Girl. But Gossip Girl feels like it's between two worlds starting in 2007. So like it feels more like a 2000s show to me than it does like a 2010s show. But Gossip Girl will always be the queen of the genre till the end of time. Glee. Glee is a joke. A poorly formed joke. I will never stop raving about the first season of Glee, but I was absolutely right in my analysis video when I said my hypothesis is that I will spend the rest of the time complaining that other seasons exist because I saw everything I could possibly want to see. I was satisfied with every single thing I could possibly hope to be satisfied by within the show, within the first season. Like there's no reason to continue. No one's getting deeper. Blaine, I loved Blaine in season 2. Blaine, they completely made not special to me now since I see him all the fucking time. He's just whatever now. There's nothing to him. Darren Criss still crazy likable. I still like Blaine, but there's nothing to analyze about him. In season 2, I have little to go on with the analysis there, but I'm left to believe that it was Ryan Murphy, either a gay teenage fantasy of his, or like providing some sort of wish fulfillment to lonely gay teens within the 2010s that, yeah, you can go to this amazing Dalton Academy with the teenage boy of your dreams right over there. I mean, right, the first song you sung in season 2 was Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. I mean, I think that's very obvious. So at least that's like a little bit informative. But by season 3, he goes to McKinley and it's just not special being around him anymore. The songs aren't special anymore. The structure, which was perfect in season 1. It was broken in season 2, and it's even more broken in season 3. But it means nothing. There's no intensity. There's really no gravity to the performances anymore. The performances themselves aren't special anymore. And I think that they're becoming a little bit more excessive, a little bit more flashy, but like it doesn't matter. I don't care. There's like little that you can do to compel me to care because Glee season 1 had me feel all the big emotions. I can't feel those big emotions again. It feels like a poor imitation of itself. Season 2 felt like a self-parody. It felt like it was parodying the first season, and all the characters within it felt like parodies of themselves. Season 3 feels like a parody of a parody, an imitation of an imitation. It feels more plastic than anything I've ever encountered. That's why I'm quitting Glee. Like I said, at least for the time being, maybe in the far future, I'll watch the second half of the show. I was curious to see how the show handles the death of one of its main actors in real time. That would have been interesting to see, but I can't do this. I cannot do this. There's no point in continuing it because I am not enjoying it at all. I am actively despising it. I am actively hating every single character. Uh, I love Quinn, but she didn't do a lot for me. She did the most for me with that for that scene with Sue Sylvester, but my God, she didn't do a lot for me overall. I found myself annoyed by everything. I was annoyed with the Quinn within the Quinn character because of what are you doing, writers? Do you even know who she is anymore? Did you ever know who she was? Fuck, man. I didn't want to hate Glee. Teen dramas, teen soap operas, teen shows. Glee is representative of a kind of show that is unfairly maligned, unfairly criticized, unfairly marginalized, uh, unfairly written off. And I didn't want to be like that, but Glee is stupid and superficial. The only thing worth watching is the first season. When you're done with the first season, just stop watching. And don't worry, it won't be that hard because there's really nothing that compels you to continue after season 1. Season 1 ended beautifully. Everything connected. Everything was wonderfully composed. Only watch the first season ever of Glee. Everything else will just make you hate television. Hate television shows. Hate everything that led you to actually watching Glee. It's fucking bad. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking dumb, and it's the reason why so many people don't take shows like this seriously, because so many shows like this are so fucking unserious. I really did not like this season. I really didn't like last season. Uh, Glee had one of the best seasons of television ever with season 1, followed by an onslaught, a never-ending parade of the worst fucking episodes I've ever watched. And I've watched a lot of shows. This is I'm close to 20 shows that I've covered season by season. All right, I've done a lot of teen drama. This is by far the most disappointing and the most insulting to me as someone who loves to analyze and read deeply. Fuck you, man. Fuck Ryan Murphy right now. Auteur, completely, sure. Legend, absolutely. But I will never be a champion of the man. I will always say, season 1 of Glee, amazing. Everything else, fucking stop. I don't care about this season. I don't care about this show. So I'm resigning. I quit. I am not covering Glee anymore. We're going to do something else next time. All right. And we're going to hopefully do something that I enjoy and that has longevity, that has more promise than Glee did. I hated this completely. I hope every character dies a miserable death, dude. I hated all the characters by the end. There are so many characters on Glee. You know how hard that is to accomplish? Fucking, I hate them all. Except for Quinn a little bit, but you know what? Make an omelet, you gotta fucking do the eggs thing, dude. Fuck everybody. I hope that I don't want to spend a second longer with them. I hate them. The most annoying characters on teen drama. Oh my god, I just wanted them all to be blasted by a fucking asteroid, dude. Wiped out. Fuck Glee. Thank you for watching my analysis. It's so nice of you. Thanks. Especially if you're a big Gleek. I'm sure this has been a terrible video for you if you're a Gleek. Sorry, dude. Watch my season 1 video again.